Halle. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Josh?
Yeah, great, thank you. And so excited to be able to talk to you about this film as a huge fan of yours. And, I know you've explored horror on screen before, but what was it about the world of Never Let Go that made you excited to really go to such a dark place as an actor?
Well, I always love to go to dark places as an actor. When I can disappear into a role and play something so far from myself, those are some of my greatest moments and greatest experiences. So that was one reason. And two, when I read this script, the world that I imagined in my head through just reading it on the paper was a world that I had never seen before. I had a hard time imagining what would it be like as a mother to give birth in a house and then never leave for a decade and have to raise your children alone and only talk to them and them only talk to you and learn from you and you have to do it all with what's left in this house and how soon would you run out of supplies and then what would you do and it all captured my imagination in such a way that made me realize I wanted to be a part of this. And then as I dug deeper and I got into the generational trauma and the fear and the mental illness or the evil, like what it all meant, it just so many messages, flashed through my mind. Um, and mental health is such a topic of conversation today. We're finally realizing that it's okay to talk about mental health and that we must talk about mental health issues. And so it was very topical. I thought this movie, and I thought very much needed to be made.
Absolutely. And, there are so many layers to the film, and it really does keep us guessing about what's real and obviously what's in your character's head. But how difficult was it for you to work through such an extreme range of emotions as you go through this story of this mother and her sons?
Yeah. Well, I love, going, like we said, to those dark places and digging in those wells to bring up that emotion. For me, the dance I had to do, and I had to work with Alex very closely, was to walk that line of having us believe that maybe mama is suffering mental illness and maybe she's torturing these children, or maybe this evil is real and she really is just protecting them, but she's got to be harsh because, you know, the stakes are too high. So, what was the truth? And that's sort of the delicate line that I had to try to craft as a character. And I had to walk and pick those spots to, you know, show both sides of what that truth could be, right? So that at the end of the movie, the audience really could still ask themselves, I'm not quite sure, or I think it was this, and here's why. Oh, no, I'm sure the evil was real and she was just protecting them, and here's why. Like we tried to craft that very delicately.
Yeah, and did a great job 'cause it's a film that really sticks with you. And you're in the forest, you're in this dilapidated house, you're skinning squirrels at one point. So, pretty harsh surroundings. But was that important in helping you to tap into this character and figure out who she is?
It was key, and I think the boys and Alex would agree. Being really in the elements really helped us, especially the young performers. They're not as experienced, so sometimes creating the world can be one of their biggest challenges. But having to go to the set every day to this real old house that they found in the middle of the woods, and sure, set deck came and made it our house, but it really was a house. We really were in the woods every day. We would be there sometimes at night. It was very scary. We had rats sometimes running through our set, scaring the shit out of me. We had bears rolling up on our sets in the woods. We had bear spray everywhere and big foghorns to scare them away. Like it was all of that, though, lent itself to creating this very spooky, ominous, sometimes beautiful, but sometimes very dark, dark world.
Absolutely. And just while I have you, we didn't see you in Deadpool and Wolverine, but it looks like the X-Men could be in Avengers Doomsday or maybe Secret Wars. So do you see a storm brewing for those movies, perhaps?
You never know. We'll find out.
Oh, well, fingers crossed. But Halle, such a pleasure to speak to you, particularly for this film. I thought you were magnificent, as were the two boys, and it's a film I think people are going to love. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. That means everything. Thank you very much.
Great to speak to you.